Police confirms body found is Nora Ann's. Kayak belonging to two missing Singaporeans found. Hello and good afternoon. I'm Mohammed Amin Carlos, and thanks for joining us for this afternoon's News on 2. Now, the body of a fair-skinned woman found near the Dusun Resort in Pantai yesterday has been confirmed to be that of Nora Ann Querin, 15, who was reported missing on 4th August. Negeri Sembilan Police Chief Dato Muhammad Mat Yusof says the body was identified by the family of the Franco-Irish teenager at Hospital Tuanku Jaafar in Seremban.
Dan pihak keluarga telah mengesahkan bahawa mayat tersebut adalah Nora Ann, mangsa hilang pada sejak 4 bulan yang lepas.
The post-mortem was earlier conducted around 10 a.m. today, and Nora Ann's body arrived at the Forensics Department of Hospital Tuanku Jaafar at 7:07 p.m. after the helicopter bringing her from where she was found landed at the King George V school field nearby at 6:45 p.m. yesterday. It was brought in a Civil Defence Force van escorted by police cars and outriders. Nora Ann's family arrived at the hospital's Forensics Department at 8:40 p.m. and hurried in to avoid the media's glare. Also seen were Deputy Women, Family and Community Development Minister Hannah Yeoh and Negeri Sembilan Women, Family and Welfare Affairs Committee Chairman Nicole Tan Lee Kun. Meanwhile, Deputy Inspector General of Police Dato Mazlan Mansour said a group of trackers found Nora Ann's naked body near a stream some 2.5 kilometers from the resort she was staying in at 1:57 p.m.
Tempat yang ditemui itu lebih kurang 1.2 km bawah dalam kawasan yang lurah, ya. Lurah dan ialah terpaksa turun dan juga kita terpaksa menggunakan winching helikopter untuk angkat body ke hospital.
Dato Mazlan further noted that it was too early to tell how many days the deceased had been dead or the cause of death. He added that police also did not find anything suspicious or leads to the scene. A kayak believed to belong to two missing Singaporeans in the immersing waters was found by local fishermen in the waters of Tanjung Gelang, Kuantan, Pahang at about 12:30 p.m. yesterday. Now, Johor Malaysian Maritime Enforcement Agency, MMEA Director First Admiral Aminuddin Abdul Rashid said the kayak was found about 0.6 nautical miles southeast of Tanjung Gelang. Well, commenting further, First Admiral Aminuddin said the kayak was found about 80 nautical miles from the last location. Tan Ing Soon, 62, and Puak Yok Tin, 57, were reported missing 6 days ago. He added that the personal belongings of the victims, comprising a bag containing Malaysian and Singaporean currencies, a mobile phone, one Singaporean passport, a bag of clothes, an identification card, and a paddle were also found in the kayak. All the items, he said, were later handed over to Pahang MMEA for further actions, and following the discovery, a search and rescue operation was organized to look for the victims. The victims were reported missing on 8th August at about 5:40 p.m. after being separated from 13 friends while kayaking in immersing waters. Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad has warned Chinese education group, the United Chinese School Committees Association, or Dongzhong, to toe the line and not incite people into fighting one another. Well, he said the group runs the risk of running foul of the law if it continues on its current course.
Speaking to reporters at the Kuala Lumpur International Airport's KLIA 21st anniversary celebration in Sepang, Tun Dr. Mahathir also reiterated his statement that Dongzhong was a racist organization, saying it has never fought for Malaysia as a whole except for one race in this country.
Dongzhong has never said a word about Malaysia. It's always about Chinese education. Even when I propose that we should have this Wawasan school to bring people together, Dongzhong objects to that because it may cause Malay children to be mixed with Chinese children. It's a very racist way of thinking. What's wrong with Malays, Chinese and others going to school together.
The Prime Minister also said it is up to the police to decide whether Dong Zong should be banned or not.
If he keeps on stimulating, inciting people to fight against each other, of course that is going against the law. We have freedom of speech, but we are always sensitive about not instigating people to different races to fight each other.
Well, meanwhile, asked about Human Resources Minister M. Kulasegaran's call for action to be taken against controversial preacher Dr. Zakir Naik for questioning the loyalty of Hindus in Malaysia, well, Tun Dr. Mahathir said the problem the governments face was that he cannot be sent back for fear of being killed.
However, the Prime Minister said he is open to the idea of sending the fugitive Indian national to other countries following the renewed backlash against the preacher.
But the problem that we face is that we cannot send him back because he runs the risk of being killed. So he is here today. But if any country wants to have him, they're welcome.
When asked for his opinion on Dr. Zakir's recent inflammatory remarks questioning the loyalty of Malaysian Hindus to the country, Tun Dr. Mahathir cryptically said this should instead be referred to the community in question. On another note, Tun Dr. Mahathir said he is happy with the performance of his cabinet ministers. He said that they have so far carried out their duties well and are doing as much as they can despite facing criticism from all quarters.
They are doing as much as they can. One has to remember that becoming a minister exposes yourself to all kinds of criticism. So that is going to be their fate for some time, even if there are 20 years in my cabinet.
Commenting further on criticism towards the government's decision, Tun Dr. Mahathir said it was normal in politics.
The Kuala Lumpur High Court was told yesterday that the the notice issued by Interpol against fugitive businessman Joe Lau and the former Chief Executive Officer of SRC International Sendirian Berhad, Nik Faisal Arif Kamil, is still in force. Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission MACC Special Operations Division Senior Assistant Commissioner Rosli Hussain, 54, said this is because these two have yet to be arrested.
The red notice issued on 11 of June 2018 by Interpol through Bukit Aman's National Central Bureau, the NCB, is to alert authorities on efforts to find and arrest them for extradition together with two other individuals, Mohammad Rizwan Adam Shah and Toh Lian Seng. The 57th prosecution witness said this when replying to Deputy Public Prosecutor Dato' Ishak Muhammad Yusof during examination in chief on the 52nd day of the former Prime Minister Dato' Sri Najib Razak's SRC international trial. The former Premier is facing 3 counts of criminal breach of trust, 1 count of abusing his position and 3 counts of money laundering involving SRC international funds amounting to 42 million ringgit. The witness also confirmed that an email was sent by Bukit Aman's NCB to its Hong Kong counterparts asking the Hong Kong authorities to arrest Jolo and another individual, Eric Tan Kim Lung, who were believed to be at the Maggie and Rose Family Members Club in Repulse Bay. However, according to Rosalie, the Hong Kong authorities never arrested them. Rosalie said in efforts to track down Jolo and Nik Faisal, MACC had made announcement in the media but received no response. Investigation also showed that Nik Faisal and Jolo had never returned to Malaysia since they left the last time. The hearing before Judge Muhammad Nazlan Muhammad Ghazali continues today.
All Malaysian pilgrims have been confirmed safe following heavy rain at the Mina Muasim campsite on Tuesday. The Saudi Arabia's fire authorities ordered electricity supply to be shut down to prevent electrocution. Electricity was fully restored at 7:10 p.m.
Malaysian Hajj Delegation Chief Datuk Sri Said Saleh Said Abdul Rahman in a statement said no injuries were reported involving Malaysian pilgrims or Hajj personnel. The only damage in the tents were wet rugs due to rain seeping. However, the Muassasah of Southeast Asia had replaced some carpets and distributed black plastic as a base. Malaysian pilgrims also worked together to clean up the tent area. He also said due to the heavy showers, the evening stoning ritual was postponed and the situation in Mina had resumed as usual by 8 p.m. This year's pilgrimage saw 30,200 Malaysians perform the fifth Islamic tenet with the help of 640 Tabung Haji personnel.
Well, Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad says he is embarrassed by the dirty and smelly state of public toilets in the country, which he added reflects the poor civic responsibility of Malaysians.
Kalau kita pergi ke negara-negara tertentu, toilet mereka amat bersih, untuk publik amat bersih. Dianya bersih kerana penggunanya tidak mencemar, tidak mengotorkan keadaan itu. Kenapa tidak? Kenapa dia berasa bertanggungjawab dan dia menghargai pandangan masyarakat terhadap dirinya. Dengan itu maka dia akan jaga supaya dirinya memang bersih dan tidak lakukan sesuatu yang mengotorkan toilet-toilet di Malaysia.
The Premier said this at the launch of the National Civic Education Plan in Putrajaya. Tun Dr. Mahathir also expressed his admiration for the Japanese culture, adding that he was impressed by their high standards of hygiene and how children are taught to look after the environment from an early age.
Well, Finance Minister Lim Guan Eng says the National Fiberization and Connectivity Plan, or NFCP, led by the Minister of Communications and Multimedia, will require a 21.6 billion ringgit investment from 2019 to 2023. Well, he said a large portion of the investment would be funded by the Universal Service Provider, or USP fund, managed by the Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission, as well as by the private sector.
Elaborating further on the matter, Lim said the government is currently organizing a series of focus group discussions to obtain views and recommendations for the 2020 budget to be tabled on the 11th of October 2019. He also said to support the digitalization of the economy and wider adoption of Industry 4.0 technology in society, the government is also providing the necessary digital infrastructure by preparing to spend 4.2 billion ringgit to provide high-speed fiber optic connectivity to schools and selected industrial zones. This is part of the NFCP that is designed to improve broadband quality and coverage, reduce broadband prices and increase high-quality internet penetration throughout Malaysia. The minister added that to grow the digital economy further, the Minister of Communications and Multimedia and himself will form a joint ministerial committee to address problems faced by companies working in the digitalization space at the highest level. He said this would allow the government to expedite applications for investment while solving any issues raised by the private sector faster.
In conjunction with the 62nd National Day celebration, Tenaga Nasional Berhad TNB is once again offering a special incentive to encourage its commercial consumers to brighten up their buildings and surrounding areas with decorative lighting.
Now, TNB in a statement said the incentive for August and September 2019 is for all commercial consumers which have been operating for at least a year under the B, C1 and C2 tariffs. The rate of incentives is 2.8 cents per kilowatt hour, neon and floodlights, for an increase in electricity usage that exceeds the 3-month average for May, June and July 2019. TNB said this involves skyscrapers, office buildings, commercial complexes, shopping complexes, hotels and petrol stations. Eligible consumers can obtain the application form at any Kedai Tenaga or through the MyTNB self-service portal at www.mytnb.com.my. The closing date for applications is on the 15th of September.
But first, the national men's hockey squad, who ended their 3-week European tour, have gained more confidence and now possess a better understanding of the team's new playing style. Now, the Malaysian Tigers captain Muhammad Shukri Abdul Muttalib said the results recorded in the first 6 of the 9 matches proved the overall quality of the squad against the world's biggest teams.
The 33-year-old admitted, however, there was still room for improvement, hoping that the squad would show consistency during the test event in Tokyo, Japan, which begins on the 17th until the 21st of August.
Dekat Jepun, sebenarnya saya lebih mengharapkan yang kita lebih konsisten. Konsisten dalam segi permainan. Bila permainan kita konsisten, result tu akan datang. Sama macam 6 game terawal, bila kita konsisten, kita faham struktur yang coach terapkan, kita boleh main dengan bagus. So harapan saya bila pergi ke Jepun, ada pemain-pemain yang tidak ikut ke Eropah join, kita akan ada keseimbangan ataupun ada kefahaman untuk memahami struktur yang ingin coach terapkan.
The Malaysian Tigers will be leaving for Tokyo today. The Ready Steady Tokyo test event, which will be held at Oi Hockey Stadium, is part of Japan's preparation to host the 2020 Olympics. Apart from Malaysia, the test event will also see world number 5 India, New Zealand rank 8 in the world, and hosts Japan, world number 16th in the tournament. Malaysian Tigers will meet India on 17 August, followed by Japan on the next day, and complete the group stage meeting New Zealand on the 20th of August.
The National Athletics Closed Championships from 16 to 18th August is the final platform for athletes to qualify for the SEA Games in the Philippines in November. Now, Athletics Chief Coach Muhammad Manshahar Abdul Jalil said he believed that following the meet, the number of athletes joining the national contingent under Category A would be finalized after only 15 have been listed so far.
Speaking in a press conference at the National Sports Council in Bukit Jalil, Kuala Lumpur, Muhammad Manshahar said the 15 listed under Category A were gold medalists in the 2017 Games in Kuala Lumpur, comprising 12 men and 3 women. After this championship, he said he expected the number of athletes representing the country for the SEA Games to be between 25 and 30. Muhammad Manshahar also said he's confident that national sprint king Khairul Hafiz Jantan would improve on his performance to dip below 10.30 seconds and vie for a place in the 100 meters event. So far, Jonathan Nyapa is in the best position with a 10.37 seconds timing, the third fastest in Southeast Asia.
Satu kejutan daripada atlet pecutan negara, di antaranya masih lagi yang di peringkat yang terbaik tadi ialah Jonathan Nyapa yang sekarang ni berlatih di USA. Kalau dalam kedudukan ni masih ranking ketiga di peringkat Asia Tenggara dengan kepantasan 10.37 saat.
Khairul Hafiz won gold in the 2017 edition with a time of 10.38 seconds. In the women's sprint, Muhammad Manshahar said Zaidatul Husnia Zulkifli needed to work hard to catch up with the Filipino athletes with times of 10.41 seconds and 10.42 seconds compared to Zaidatul's 10.65 seconds. He said Zaidatul Husnia, who is also training in the United States, might have to be sent to the Games under Category B. At the 2017 Games, Malaysia won 8 gold medals in athletics.
The national women's football squad will be banking on the 4-3-3 formation to achieve its semi-final target at the 2019 AFF Women's Football Championship in Chonburi, Thailand from 15 to 27 August. Now, this will be a new tactical strategy employed by head coach Jacob Joseph, who has opted for an attacking approach to his squad's game compared to the 4-4-2 defensive set preferred before.
Saya target dalam tournament ni at least kita masuk semi-final. Tapi kita dah tahu tim-tim yang ada dalam grup saya pun tim yang bagus. Tapi target saya memang dah ada dan pemain-pemain saya pun dah tahu dah. Demi kita pun dah training macam mana kita nak capaikan nak masuk dalam grup semi-final ni.
With 6 of the 23-member squad coming from the under-19 team, Jacob was optimistic his Chargers would be able to provide stiff competition in the group stage and qualify for the last 4. When met at the Kuala Lumpur International Airport, KLIA, before the squad flew out to Thailand yesterday, he said the semi-final berth is deemed important for Jacob's Chargers to gauge their performance and further prepare for the 2019 Philippines SEA Games in November. Malaysia will kick off their Group A campaign against Philippines on the 15th of August, Singapore on 19 August and Timor-Leste on the 21st of August before completing the preliminary round against defending SEA Games gold medalist Thailand 2 days later.
That concludes this afternoon's edition of News on 2. In our top story, police confirms body found is Nora Ann's. Now, News on 2 is on the lookout for editors and presenters for our bulletins. And if you're interested to join our English news team, please email your application and CV to newson2@gmail.com. Join us again at 7 p.m. for more updates on the latest happenings here and around the world. I'm Mohammed Amin Carlos, and do stay tuned to TV2.